Here are the smartest, strangest, and most emotional details you might have missed on your first, second, or third watch. Back in the very first episode, Walt's beige pants made a dramatic exit, soaring out of the RV during that wild desert cook with Jesse. Most of us probably forgot about them, but the show didn't. Jump to Season 5, Episode 14, Ozymandias, and there they are, still in the sand as Walt buries his barrel of money. Breaking Bad logo, those green squares with BR and BA. The showrunners actually snuck that logo into the show itself more than once. You can see it on the hospital hallway floor. The green squares pop against the white tile. And in Walt's condo, on the wall right behind his couch. Maybe it was in more places as well, but we didn't catch it. In the very first episode, when Walt thinks he's going to be caught for murder, he records a teary goodbye message for his family on a camcorder. In the message, he states his full address, 308 Negra Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87014. That is Walter's address in the Breaking Bad universe. You'll see it on screen throughout the show. But the actual house used for filming is located somewhere else entirely. The creators switched up the address to protect the real homeowners, though that didn't stop overzealous fans from tracking it down and occasionally trespassing. Side note, don't be that fan. Watch respectfully. The Season 2 plane crash that was revealed at the end of the season. Turns out the show told us about it before the actual reveal. Check the titles of the 4 episodes, the 1st, 4th, 10th, and 13th of the season. They all start with those eerie black and white flash forwards showing bits of wreckage. Titles of those exact episodes are 737, Down, Over, and ABQ. Put them together and you get 737 Down Over Albuquerque. They literally spelled out Boeing 737 Down Over Albuquerque. And we didn't see it coming. That's next level storytelling. In the very first episode, Skyler lovingly makes Walter veggie bacon for his birthday breakfast and shapes the bacon into a 50 on his plate. A sweet, awkward moment in suburban domestic bliss. And in Season 5 premiere. It's Walt's 52nd birthday. He's alone in a diner, eating real bacon this time, and shaping it into a 52 himself. Here's one that's almost too spooky to believe. The tragic plane crash at the end of Season 2 has a chilling real-world parallel. The 1986 Cerritos mid-air collision. But here's the kicker. The actual name of the junior air traffic controller involved in that real-life incident? Walter White. And in Breaking Bad, fictional Walter White ends up being indirectly responsible for a mid-air disaster too. In the pilot episode, right before his birthday breakfast, Walt's doing some awkward home workouts in a plain, unfinished room. It eventually becomes Baby Holly's nursery, but at that point, it's just paint swatches, magazine clippings taped to the walls. Skyler even calls him out for not getting around to it yet. From the swatches, you can see that the color options were green or blue, which makes sense since they didn't know the baby's gender yet. But after learning it's a girl, they settle on pink and green instead. It's a subtle background detail, but one that quietly tracks the family's history. The pink teddy bear that drops into Walt's pool in Season 2, with a half-burned face and one eye missing. That messed up teddy might be an early foreshadowing of Gus Fring's iconic death in Face Off. Skyler looks up the phone number that Walter took a call from that leads her to Jesse's My Shout page, basically Breaking Bad's version of Facebook. In the URL, you can see the CPN Cook in it, which refers to his alias Captain Cook. There's also a mention of Crystal Ship, which shows Jesse used to brag about his meth cooking career online. It also reveals he was once in a band and that he went to college. In the final episode, the camera lingers for a second on a New Hampshire license plate with the state's bold motto, "Live free or die." That phrase isn't just New Hampshire pride, it's also the title of Season 5's premiere. And by the end of the series, it becomes a poetic prophecy. Jesse finally breaks free, driving off into the unknown, while Walt meets his end in the meth lab he built. Better Call Saul might be a prequel, but it plays the long game with Breaking Bad references. And one of the coolest call forwards was hiding in plain sight from the very beginning. When Walt and Jesse kidnap Saul in his debut scene, he immediately freaks out and yells, "Did Lalo send you?" It wasn't me, it was Ignacio. At the time, we didn't know who those people were, But we know those names well now from Better Call Saul. Lalo Salamanca and Ignacio Nacho Varga became major players in the spin-off, giving that one throwaway moment in Breaking Bad a whole new layer of meaning. Whether Vince Gilligan had it all mapped out or just decided to reverse engineer Saul's backstory from a single line, either way, it's storytelling genius. Throughout Breaking Bad and the Better Call Saul, there's a recurring mention of Craddock Marine Bank. Mike's hazard pay moves through it, and a few shady transactions get routed there. Sounds like just another generic bank in a TV show, right? Not quite. Here's the Easter egg. Craddock Marine Bank is the same fictional bank used by none other than Fox Mulder in The X-Files. And guess who kicked off his TV career writing on The X-Files? It's the show creator, Vince Gilligan. It's a quiet tip of the hat to Gilligan's TV roots. From Aliens to Albuquerque meth producers, Craddock's been storing secrets across the TV multiverse. In episode 2, we see Walt hanging out at Jesse's place, stress smoking some weed while trying to figure out what to do with Crazy 8 in the basement. He struggles to roll a joint and ends up lighting it on the stove burner. But when Jesse walks in later, Walt's holding a lighter. So either Walt found a lighter off screen before rolling a second joint, or maybe it's a good old-fashioned continuity slip. The last episode of Breaking Bad is titled Felina. And sure, you might think, cute, it's just the word finale scrambled up. But no, that's not it. First, Felina is a nod to the El Paso song by Marty Robbins, which plays while Walt's en route to his last stand. The song tells the story of a man who returns to the A town where he's wanted, just to see the woman he loves, and her name is Felina. But it gets deeper. Split the word Felina into chemical symbols. Fe is iron, Li is lithium, and Na is sodium. Iron's for blood, lithium is for meth, and sodium is for tears. The entire show in one word. In Season 4. Episode 12. There's a moment in Breaking Bad that feels oddly familiar. And if you're a Tarantino fan, you probably caught it. It's a visual nod to Reservoir Dogs, complete with matching character positions and matching names. In Reservoir Dogs, Steve Buscemi plays Mr. Pink, and Harvey Keitel plays Mr. White. And in a particular scene, Walt and Jesse even mirror the exact stance and setup of Mr. Pink and Mr. White in Reservoir Dogs. In Season 5, Episode 15, Granite State, Walt is deep in hiding, stripped of his empire, his family, and even his name. But the alias he uses, Mr. Lambert, isn't just something the vacuum guy chose. Turns out, Lambert is Skyler's maiden name. Walt chooses this name that links him back to the family he shattered. It's subtle, but it speaks volumes. This quiet little detail is one of the last emotional threads connecting Walt to his old life. Behind all the lies and destruction, there's still that lingering trace of love, or at least guilt. In Episode 2, while Crazy 8 is chained in the basement, Walt notices that Crazy 8 doesn't eat sandwich crusts. He even starts cutting them off for him when he makes him a sandwich later. We see Walt at the beginning of the show eating sandwiches with crusts on, but after he kills Crazy 8, Walt starts eating his sandwiches without crusts. And as the series goes on, Walt keeps adopting little habits and mannerisms from the people he's killed. In Ozymandias, there's a scene where Walt is staring at his reflection on a car. Walt's head is perfectly placed over a bullet hole on the care. That little visual moment is foreshadowing. And just one more example of how Breaking Bad nails the details down to the last frame. Walter White's transformation into Heisenberg wasn't just in his actions, it was in his closet too. In the early seasons, Walt wears soft colors, beige, pale yellow, light green, all very high school chemistry teacher just trying his best. But as his moral compass dissolves and his ego takes over, his wardrobe shifts with him. By the final seasons, it's all deep browns, murky greens, and full-on black. This slow, subtle darkening of his outfits mirrors his descent into villainy. Breaking Bad gives a nod to The Godfather, where ripe oranges are a classic symbol that death, or at least serious trouble, is on the way. In Breaking Bad, the homage hits during a scene with Ted Beneke. He trips, crashes hard, and sends a bunch of oranges flying. What happens next? Ted ends up in the hospital with a broken spine. It's not a mob hit, but the message is clear. When oranges hit the floor, someone's going down. Breaking Bad paints Walt's descent into crime as this shocking transformation. But if you look closely, everyone in the White family dips their toe into the illegal pool in the first season. Hank smokes illegal Cuban cigars. Marie steals shoes and a tiara. Walter Jr. tries to get someone to buy him beer underage. And Skylar has sex with Walter in a public place. None of them get charges, though. In Ozymandias, after Walt leaves baby Holly at a fire station for the firefighters to discover her and return her home, the camera lingers on a chessboard. Look closer, you'll see that the White King on the board is surrounded, boxed in on all sides. Just like on the board, Walt's got no more moves left. The empire he built is crumbling, and now even his family isn't safe from the wreckage. And there you have it. Some of the insane details, Easter eggs, and visual storytelling genius that made Breaking Bad one of the greatest shows of all time. Did we miss any tiny details or hidden clues you spotted? Drop your favorite Breaking Bad Easter egg or theory in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.